Hey there, Freedom Friend. Welcome to Anarchapulco TV. David Rodriguez here. Thanks for joining us. I'm so excited to be with you guys today. It's Sunday, and again, welcome. You know, this is a part of the community building process is to engage with you. I want to share with you what's happening today. First of all, the new theme. Can you see it behind me? Can you see it? We're going to talk about the new theme. We're going to be talking about the presidential elections, which is just a great charade of actors and theater and making a great event. So we're going to be going over these things, and it is going to be action-packed and full of all this great information because this is a new paradigm, and I'm just so grateful to be part of the team and happy that you're joining us because so are you. Whether you see that or not, you really are. And we love you and appreciate you out there in the community because big things are happening, you know, not just with, you know, our team and organization, but humanity. Humanity is beginning to wake up in a way that has never been seen before in history. I don't know if you guys can feel that or not, but that's what's going on. So I want to start with the most exciting part. I don't know if you guys got the email. The theme this year is evolve, and you can see that in my background right there, evolve, and you see the background, the backwards love, which I think is so important too. Maybe the most powerful 4-letter word in language is love. But I want to share a little bit about the ideas behind evolve because we'll talk about the presidential election here in a second, but like, isn't it time that we all evolve and rather than try to change what's outside of us, even our family, even our friends, and politics, right? We have to get better ourselves. And so I think this is what's so amazing is that as we decide to evolve ourselves, to get better, to learn, to grow, to challenge ourselves, to take risks, then as a result, the world around us changes. And that's, I think, what the powerful point is that we don't have to change other people, right? We just grow ourselves and change ourselves and even becoming healthier, right? Some of us have health challenges, so we got to evolve our health. We can't be eating all the shit food or the, you know, shit products that they have us on, you know, or relationships. We have to evolve our relationships. We want love in our life, or we want more connections, or we want some business relationships. We have to evolve and grow and maybe grow our entrepreneurial skills or grow our marketing skills or presentation or whatever it might be. And this is all part of the core that we want to do and are doing here and setting this up. So this is going to be the theme going forward. Seriously, I was just like looking at the sign back there. The team did a great job designing the banner. But this is a great theme for the next 7 months until we launch the live event there in Acapulco, Mexico. And we're going to be doing some amazing things continually around this theme because this is how we can really develop and evolve, you know. So whether it's evolution or revolution, whatever you prefer, I actually do like revolution, but I think from the definition standpoint, you want to evolve and create this freedom revolution. And it's not even we're creating it. We are trying to facilitate this awakening that's happening, this awakening that we don't have to be bullied and pushed around by these politicians. And that's what is, I guess, going to bring us to the next part of the conversation is the presidential election. Have you noticed now these campaigns are vamping up, and you as a voluntarist, as a freedom lover, as someone who knows that you own yourself and you're sovereign and anarchist, it's so funny to watch this theater, right? This play, and they have such the good marketing, they have such high quality production, and they have talking points, and when they talk, they go like that, right? And I guess there's nothing wrong with going like that, but it's this psychological warfare to control you and say that you and me need them for our life. And it's so funny because I live in California, and I haven't voted in the presidential election for I don't know, 8 years. I guess when Ron Paul had his election stolen, right? When he was like polling so high, and I said, yeah, this is the year, you know, we're going to go out there and win Ron Paul. And then you saw in the debates that he got 0 time, or he got 90 seconds when like Mitt Romney got like 13 minutes. And you're like, this kind of seems like a rigged situation. Well, it's rigged, folks. The mega corporations get their They're advertising dollars from the campaigns and they love them, and you got special interests behind those guys. So what's going on with the presidential election? Well, you see Trump, of course, he's in there. And then you see what Biden, I don't know if you saw Biden, he's saying he's a little bit forgetful, or Bernie Sanders is going to be the competitor, or that's really who I've seen. Maybe Elizabeth Warren or maybe Tulsi Gabbard. I'm not really sure who is going to be on the green team or the blue team. It's the red versus the blue, right? This is the other point, is like they're just a left wing and a right wing of this gigantic bird, like a vulture, that just come and try to take you and make you do things that you don't want to do. And you could even say it's like the Bloods and the Crips, right? Because they use extortion, they use force and coercion, and they also, are, against each other, allegedly. And so this kind of game of left and right is really what Carol Quigley was talking about in his book, Tragedy and Hope, where he's like, that's what we want. We want people to like vote for this guy or vote for that guy. And then when we get mad at him, we're going to put him in. When we get mad at him, we're going to put him in. But still, the direction is towards more totalitarianism, towards more control, and telling you what to do, when in reality, if they actually obeyed their oaths, right, which was to defend the Constitution, right, and protect your rights, right? That's what it was for. Did you know that? The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, is supposed to limit the government, and now the government's just out of control. So anytime I see these presidential elections, and I'm curious what you think too, put in the comments what you think about the presidential elections. I can only just laugh, because they are like Hollywood productions, and you gotta pick a side, and it's divide and conquer, and us versus you, and you versus us, and it's like, no, it's not. It's humanity, and there's this coercive organization that has tricked us and fooled us. And so now we have to vote for you guys to represent us. What a scam that is. So, I'm curious what you think about like the presidential election and what's going to happen. And anyways, like here's the distinction that I made. I want to hear your opinion too, is voting matters, but not in the voting booth. Right? Not in this box where you go in there and you try to write the name on the piece of paper, and you put that in the box and say, I did my civic duty now. Now I'm good. I voted for somebody. So, you didn't vote. Whereas voting, in my opinion, is actually using your dollars, right? Where you spend your money, very powerful economic power, and your time and your energy. Where are you putting your time? Where are you voting with your time, voting with your energy? Because that's actual real, right? You do have a limited amount of time. You have a limited amount of life, in this experience. So what are you doing with that time? And I find that's more powerful, right? So we have to evolve beyond the voting booth, in my opinion, and start building the world that we want, right? This is what's so exciting as part of this community is we do want to build intentional communities. We are building this kind of virtual community in Acapulco, for a week or 2 weeks here. Well, officially 10 days, right? We're going to have programming stuff going on for 10 days. But every time I go there, I'm just like, I want more. I want more of that. So that's my 2 cents on the presidential election and voting. How about you? Are you excited about somebody and, Q or something like that? Maybe. You can if you want. But that's what's going on there. And then what they try to hide is the power of the individual. That's what's really their fear, is that you will withdraw support and I will withdraw support, and we will begin to work with each other cooperatively, right? Instead of outsourcing our power, outsourcing our responsibility and saying that person is responsible versus I'm responsible, right? This is the true self-governed individual, is I'm responsible for my life, and this is one of the great things to say is I'm responsible. When the shit hits the fan or you got some bad stuff going on, I'm responsible. So you can find a way, and instead of trying to blame other people or force people, like you saw what happened in Canada, somebody's trying to force people to shave their genitals. Hey, if they don't want to do it, why are you going to make them do it? And then you use the strength of the state to do that, or the strength of the state to bake you a cake or something. That's the problem, right? There is no organization that's exempt from morality. that's on each individual. So each individual is responsible, and the state wants to take that away, and that's what the school system is about as well. So come learn about homeschooling stuff. Well, so you can pull your kids out so they can be independent thinkers and not be someone who has to depend on other people to create the life that they want. And if you're watching this video, you probably don't. You're a powerful individual and just a visionary in its own right. So that's what's so amazing. Also, how are we going to make this the best event ever? The best event ever is because you're involved, we're involved, we have a great team behind it, and it really is a team effort, you know? So because we're talking about revolutionary, evolutionary concepts, it does take some assistance to get the word out. And so, you know, do help us in whatever way you can. You know, like this video, share it, make some comments. You can become an affiliate if you want to make some money. Last year, I think our top affiliate was making like $3,000, which is great, right? You invite some friends and you make some money. Or you can become a sponsor. You know somebody who can become a sponsor, come help us out there. And it's really important because like somebody like myself, I've been going for 5 years. And so I've been talking to my family members about freedom, about self-ownership, and had a conversation today with one of my family members who I love dearly. And he wants to go in the military. And I've been talking to him, you know, in person, on the phone. And it's really difficult when you love somebody and they're going to go work for a murderous organization. And it's really like harsh because you can give the facts to people. You can tell them about the Pat Tillman story. You can tell them about false flags. I mean, how do you guys deal with your family when they want to go in the military? I mean, I just want to cry, you know? I'm just like, man, I love you and you're smart and talented. Why do you want to go in the military? You don't need to go work for these guys. So this is real life, you know, and some of the people, I mean, some of you guys maybe are married to somebody or have children or other people, parents, where they just blindly support this organization. And the basics that I can break down to is just having a voluntary relationship versus a coercive relationship. But still, they have such trance, just like we were in a trance, you know, the hypnosis of the state and the flag worship. And I even sent him a video about, there was a military guy, and the video was this. He went to the military, came out, and then now he's like, I don't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't stand for the flag. And he just started listing off some of the stuff that I mentioned. And even the military guys, once they wake up, they're starting to realize that they're part of some terrible scheme, some terrible scam. And it takes them so much time to realize this for themselves. And it's really sad. So, you know, how do you share the truth with a family member when I straight told them, I said, I don't want you to die. I don't want you to kill somebody, because if they're an innocent person, like a lot of people regret it later, and they have like, to commit suicide. There's 22 suicides a day from military veterans. It's a serious thing, you know, PTSD. So do you really need to go? I'm trying to encourage them to take a year off, you know, take a year off and just go play around and find out what you're interested in and find out what you want to do. Because once you sign up, right, whether it's a 3-year contract or 5-year contract in the military, they own you, right? And if you disobey an order, right, a lawful order from your superior officer, that's called the court-martial, right? And you are obligated how to do that, right? So that's why you got to see, if you haven't seen the movie A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise, or Jack Nicholson, explodes, you can't handle the truth, right? Because he does this, I'm out here protecting stuff and doing things and you don't know. And they take their job so serious, but they don't realize that like there's different black operations going on and CIA and different secret, you know, groups, intelligent groups. And anyways, it is a deep, deep religion. It's very dangerous. As the book, The Most Dangerous Superstition talks about, you know, it's a belief. And what we're doing now, you know, through this movement and you and me and the community and what's going on, we're remembering the preciousness of your life, the preciousness of human life, and how you can't just go around killing people. This is not a good solution. And, you know, this is what's so cool, is because now we have internet, so we can see other people. We can meet other friends from across the globe. Like I was talking to my family member. They're probably sending you to Iran. And if you look at Iran, like from a digital media perspective, you can find regular people out in Iran. Why do you want to kill these people? And if you're going into their country, then you are actually the aggressor. You're the one who is violating the non-aggression principle by going into their country with guns and saying, we're here to protect you. We're here to spread freedom and democracy. Put your hands up, get on the ground. This is the brainwashing that we've all gone through most of us have gone through the school system, media, corporate propaganda, Hollywood movies as well. I mean, these ones are deep ones. They have the movies that back that up and support them. And if you're an athlete, the sports, and the pledge allegiance to the flag, during the football game, during the basketball game. It really is programming. It is what it is. It's mind control. It's thought control. And that's how they win. They actually determined this decades ago. The best way, well, this is the Johann Fichte quote. He said, what we want is to be able to create the student, the pupil, so that they cannot even think about disobeying their school teacher. And then the best thing to have is people, a society, a populace that police themselves, that they're so worried about, the authority figure here, that they actually police themselves so that the quote authority figures don't have to police them. So this is what's called social engineering. And there's actually a documentary that's just really powerful too called Social Engineering. And it goes through some of these things. It goes through B.F. Skinner, some of the science projects, laboratories that they've gone through, and they determine how to make people do what the state wants them to do. So deep. It's like, this is why I need this community. I love you guys, because like realizing this is a really huge pill to swallow. So when you're around other people that can discuss this with you, and I'm not going to say you're some kind of, crazy person. You're actually a researcher is what you are. And this is what's so beautiful is you can, find other humans in real life to have conversations. And it's great to be online too. This is beautiful. And then in real life, let's go have a beer or something. Let's go, go swimming or go do something fun and have a conversation with someone that can help us evolve to the next level. What is the solutions that we're talking about, right? Because participating in these elections, is that really how we're going to change things? Going in a voting booth, writing on a piece of paper and putting it in a box? Is that how we're going to change things? I don't think so. Who was the fascist who said, was it Stalin, who said, I don't care who votes. All I care is who counts the votes. And there's even a computer engineer on YouTube who testified in front of court. He said it's easy to rig the election. You just flip it. You go from 51% to 49 or 49 to 51, whatever way you want to flip it. And they have that ability to do that. So it's not how we're going to create revolutionary change. The revolutionary change is you and me going through and causing the change, being the change that we want to be now. Okay, so I want to share something about being an affiliate. Well, before I do that, I just want to mention that we need your support, and if you want to become an affiliate, you can actually use the YouTube, Twitter, social media, whatever influence that you have, and then you can spread what you can use. You can use some of the logos that we have, use some of the copy and some of the emails. This is also why it's important to check your emails because you'll see the words and the graphics in there. You can spread that as well, and just go to, it's on the website, Anarchapulco.com. By the way, that's up too. You can check out the new stuff that's on there, and it's called Get Involved, and you can become an affiliate and just put your information in there, and then you can basically get your own little discount code. You can get your own URL, and then you can become an affiliate and help grow your income and become something that, become a contributor to the community. I mean, this is really what it is. And that's exactly right. Yeah, thanks for that, Alex. Yeah, joining the military means protecting the bankster's interests. And it's so crazy. Like, once you realize that that's what it is. It's about the big military industrial complex, and global control is just actual insanity, you know. And this is the, I think it was the Rockefeller Foundation in like 1906. They were asking what's the most effective way to change society, and it was through war. So through war, they know they can change the emotions and change the trauma. And that's what 9/11 was about. That was a trauma event on 9/11 of vast proportions that is scientifically impossible. But because most people haven't had the critical thinking aspect of it, they actually thought that was a real thing, a real event. So we have to educate people about this, you know. And I was having this conversation with somebody recently, you know, it's like, oh, it was like JFK assassination, you know, that was, you know, 60 years ago, and like 90% of people still don't believe it was a, you know, a lone man gun shooter. It's like, it's not a lone man gun shooter. It was, you know, fabricated, whoever you think it was. But for sure, that was assassination conspiracy, very clearly. And so, okay, now what? You know, okay, now 90% of the population believes that, then what can change? So that's what they're going to do with 9/11, right? This is the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. They know what's going to happen, and then what's going to be going forward. I mean, it really is time for a paradigm shift. And some of you know about the forced vaccines that are starting to come up throughout the U.S. and maybe other countries. They're injecting poison into children in order to go to school. And what happened in Rockland County about 2 months ago, in order to go to the store, in order to go to the hospital, in order to go to the school to pick up your child, you got to have these forced vaccines. So I think it's a matter of withdrawing your support, communicating what is truth, and building the relationships with people around you so that when it gets bad, you actually have some people around you who can support you and have your back, really, you know, because the state does work on absolute chaos and coercion and force, and that's not the way to you know, a voluntary, peaceful society. So okay, now speakers are going to be announced next week. Some of the speakers are going to be talking about the IRS, talking about CPS, talking about cryptos and homeschooling and men empowerment, women empowerment. Very exciting. I mean, this is going to be one of the greatest events ever, and it just keeps on getting better. So if you're not on the email list, get there, because that's where the announcements will be. Or I'm going to be here every Sunday as well. So feel free to reply to some of the comments here, or if you have some questions, you know, I'll hang around for a little bit and see if I might be able to assist you here. But this is the weekly update. We're going to be here every Sunday, and freedom is rising. This is what I want to tell you. Freedom is rising. We are evolving, and we're at the very beginning. Today's the 28th. You have 3 days left for the early bird ticket. It's only $3.55 if you have a discount code. If you don't have one, go become an affiliate, get that discount code. If you don't, it's $3.95. And there's a lot of cool other stuff happening, but we are getting closer, and oh man, it's gonna be so exciting. It's gonna be awesome to see you all there, and I hope you do come. I know it's a long ways. Also on the website, how to get to Acapulco. You can fly, you can drive. I think one family took a boat last year, so you can take a boat, and they have a great FAQ on the website as well. So that's where we'll be. The updates will be on the blogs as well. So check back here, the blogs, and hey, it's going to be a beautiful event, and the build-up's going to be great too. We're going to be doing interviews, talking with some of the speakers, so you know kind of what they are, what they're talking about, and how the program is going to be beneficial for you and your family. We're going to have an awesome family camp this year. I just came up with some new ideas this week. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. So just spreading the freedom, the peace, the empowerment, the joy, the love, and yep, that's exactly right. This is the place to be for sure. This is the event of the year for me every time. So be sure you come if you want to, and take a look how to get down here. Join the Facebook group. We have an Acapulco group. and you can put your questions in there as well. So thanks for joining the show today, and I'll see you next time here at Anarchapulco TV. Peace, love, anarchy. You know the deal.